The physics of value, how civilizations collapse when they violate thermodynamics. Section 1, Introduction. Civilization as an energy system. Civilizations rise for only one reason. They learn how to channel energy into order. Fire, grain, steam, electricity, computation. Each leap in human progress is really a leap in how we transform energy into value. Not metaphorically, literally. Every building, institution, law, and market is downstream of one question. How efficiently can a society turn finite inputs into sustained outputs? This is the hidden architecture behind prosperity. It is also the hidden architecture behind collapse. For thousands of years, humans operated with an intuitive respect for this law. You could not build a granary with promises. You could not feed your children with credit. You could not harvest crops you never planted. Energy obeyed rules. Value obeyed those same rules. Then modern finance arrived and made the most dangerous claim in the history of civilization. We can create value without cost. With the stroke of a pen, governments created money unbacked by labor, savings, productivity, or surplus. Banks created credit unanchored to the physical world. Debts grew faster than the real economy, and society convinced itself it had escaped the laws of nature. Civilizations do not fall because enemies outsmart them. They fall because they break the laws that made them strong. And no law is more unforgiving than the physics of value. Section 2. The conservation of value. The first law of civilizational physics. Energy cannot be created from nothing. Civilizations operate the same way. Value must come from somewhere. Someone must expend effort. Something real must be transformed. This is the real meaning of money. Stored human energy. Savings represent past work. Investment represents future work. Wages represent present work. Break this chain. Allow the creation of claims on energy that was never produced. And you break civilization's ability to conserve value. Modern fiat is built on this violation. When central banks create money with no corresponding increase in output, they are not stimulating. They are redistributing. Someone receives purchasing power they did not earn. Someone loses purchasing power they did earn. The laws of physics enforce this balance with ruthless precision. Value cannot appear without cost. Every gain extracted without input becomes someone else's loss. This is why inflation is not an economic metric. It is a thermodynamic signal of stolen energy. 3. Entropy and decline. The second law of civilizational physics. In physics, entropy measures the disorder that accumulates when energy is wasted or misallocated. Civilizations accumulate entropy in the form of unpayable debt, decaying infrastructure, eroding trust, falling productivity, institutional corruption, currency debasement. Fiat finance accelerates entropy because it rewards consumption over regeneration. It incentivizes extraction over stewardship. It diverts investment away from real productivity and into financial engineering. Overborrowing and overfarming are the same act, taking more from a system than it can replenish. A farm that extracts nutrients faster than soil can restore them collapses into desert. A nation that extracts wealth faster than citizens can produce it collapses into chaos. Entropy is not a metaphor. It is the mathematical death sentence of all systems that pretend they can consume without cost. 4. Time theft. The intergenerational violation. There is no crime more severe than stealing from someone who cannot defend themselves. Modern economies commit this crime daily. Debt is nothing more than a claim on the future, a promise that tomorrow's workers will repay today's excess. Environmental degradation works the same way. So does demographic decline. So does currency inflation. Because the future has no vote, the present exploits it. Politicians overspend, banks overextend, societies overconsume, all while the unborn inherit an economy already mortgaged to the hilt. This is not fiscal irresponsibility. It is time theft, the transfer of entropy onto people not yet alive. No civilization can survive when the present cannibalizes its descendants. This content is brought to you by Bobby Giggs. Promote your brand here and reach a wide audience across platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Follow the links in the description to get started. Section 5. The altar of elastic money. How modern finance breaks physics. When money becomes elastic, when it can be created without limit, the entire incentive structure of civilization warps. Risk separates from reward. Responsibility separates from power. Losses are socialized. Gains are privatized. Decay is hidden under layers of credit expansion. This is the central violation. Elastic money allows upside without downside, reward without risk, energy without input. Banks lend money they do not have. Governments spend money they did not earn. Asset prices soar independent of productivity. Losses are sterilized by central banks. Moral hazard becomes the operating system of the global economy. This is the altar of elastic money, where the future is sacrificed to protect the present. And like all false gods, it demands increasing sacrifice the longer it is worshipped. Section 6. Hard money, the physics-based constraint. Hard money restores the laws of physics to finance. Gold does this physically. You cannot print additional atoms. Bitcoin does this cryptographically. You cannot mint additional coins. Hard money imposes intertemporal discipline. It forces civilizations to live within their energetic means. Under hard money, debt expands only when real savings exist. Value grows only when productivity grows. Spending depends on actual surplus. Risk cannot be detached from consequence. Hard money blocks the creation of free energy illusions. It prevents the political class from stealing time. It protects the future from the present. In short, hard money prevents time theft. Section 7. Risk sharing. The ethical constraint, Islamic finance. Islamic finance discovered a truth that matches the laws of physics. You cannot separate risk from reward. To earn upside, you must bear downside. To gain, you must contribute. To profit, you must expose yourself to loss. This is not dogma. It is thermodynamics. Systems collapse when entities can extract benefit without paying cost. By prohibiting riba, gain without shared risk, Islamic finance encodes civilizational sustainability. No compounding interest on the unborn. No transfers of risk to those who did not choose it. No reward without real input. No extraction from the future to enrich the present. It aligns ethics with physics. Section 8. Efficiency, the only path forward. Efficiency is not an economic choice. It is the final frontier of civilization. Doing more with less is the only way a society can increase prosperity, reduce entropy, expand human flourishing without stealing from the future. Efficiency transforms finite resources into infinite possibility. Extraction transforms infinite possibility into collapse. Fiat systems choose extraction. Sustainable civilizations choose efficiency. Section 9. Reconnecting money, risk, and ethics to physics. Civilization survives only when money reflects reality, risk reflects responsibility, value reflects input, consequences reflect actions. This is the physics of value, the alignment of human systems with natural law. Reconnect finance to physics, and you protect the future. Reconnect risk to reward, and you restore trust. Reconnect money to scarcity, and you restore discipline. Reconnect ethics to economics, and you restore civilization. Conclusion. The law that no civilization can break. You can violate the laws of men. You can manipulate the laws of markets. You can rewrite the laws of nations. But the laws of physics do not negotiate. You cannot cheat energy. You cannot print productivity. You cannot consume tomorrow to feed today. You cannot escape the bill for theft, extraction, and entropy. Civilizations endure when they obey the physics of value. They collapse when they pretend they are above it. Humanity now stands on the fault line between the two.